What's going on, guys? VGC here, and with the most recent current events such as the virus and now these crazy riots that have been going down, I decided let's take a look at something I've been working on just to keep myself busy at home now that we can't go out as much. And that is game cases. Now, I'm not just talking about the standard DVD style cases you see for PS2, sometimes PlayStation 1, Xbox 360, and so on. I'm talking about cases for cartridge games specifically. Now, the first ones we're going to take a look at are called universal game cases. You can find them on Amazon, but you can get them a lot cheaper through MediaShelving.com. But the only catch with Media Shelving is you have to buy them in a case of 100, which at first sounds like a big commitment, but I only spent around $84 for a case of 100, so you're still paying less than $1 per case. So in my opinion, I think it's worth it. And these aren't just for one system. They'll fit Atari 2600, Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, NES, Sega Genesis, pretty much any cartridge game. Now, the NES cartridges are quite large, so you do have to modify these, which MediaShelving.com does not condone. But at the end of the day, you're the one that spent your hard-earned money on these, so you can do with them what you want. And personally, I think they're great. They can be used on a large variety of cartridge games, and they make the whole game shelf or cabinet, however how you have your game stored, seem nice, uniform, neat, and in my opinion, it just brings me back to going into the store to either rent or buy a game, and gives you more or less that feeling of nostalgia whether you want to buy or rent a game, and that's pretty awesome if you ask me. Now, as far as the game covers, I recommend going through to thecoverproject.net, which they don't have every game case, but they have a good majority of them. And not only are these scans of the originals, some of them are custom ones that other people have made, which are great. I do love the different options that you're given. And something I've done is also printed off a type of wallpaper picture to have on the inside of it as well. So as you open the case, you get a nice little image, which I think is a really nice touch in my opinion. Now, as far as the sizing of it, it's more or less close to a VHS case or even the Sega Genesis case, which if you look here, the stock Sega Genesis cases are a little bit smaller, but not too bad. And like I said before, you know, you can fit a vast amount of console cartridge games in it. And with main home consoles covered, let's take a look at the portables, the Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, and Game Boy Color. Now, as far as the Game Boy Advance, I've just been using DS cases with the Game Boy slot and printing off my covers that way, as I said before, going through the coverproject.net. And these turn out very well and fairly easy to do. Now, however, the original Game Boy and Game Boy Color games are a bit of a different story. Playing around with a couple ideas, I've been told to get some cut foam, but I checked my local craft stores, or at least the ones that were open, and they didn't have anything like that. So I've been using just some cheap poster board, and it's been working okay. I don't prefer it just because on these I've been cutting out the DS slot using the multi-tool, and it works, but it's not my preferred method, so I'm gonna try a couple other things before I fully commit. But as far as the outside and using DS style cases, I think it looks great and definitely helps keep everything uniform, nice and neat, and this way you don't have to thumb through your original Game Boy games, Game Boy Color, or even GBA games. It's a nice way to really see what you have, or easy to get to the game you want to play. And I have seen a couple websites where you can get cases that are specifically made for Game Boy and Game Boy Color, and I'll definitely be ordering some of those in the future to give those a try. So for those of you that are needing something to do and have a lot of cartridge games, and I'd say, you know, check out some custom cases. Maybe not do your whole collection, but maybe just as a start, just do one or two for some of your favorite games. It's definitely a way to make some of your games, if not all, look very neat, very nice, and easy to get to. This is VGC. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so. And feel free to leave a like or leave a comment if you like these kinds of videos, or if you have any ideas for future videos. This is VGC, signing off.